Hi, my name's Adam Peterson. I, as a lot of people know, whether it be family, friends, people that follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, you all know that, I'm a pretty laid back, relaxed guy. That I'm also disabled. Okay. I have to walk with a cane most of the time because unless I have something to hold on to, I have to have that cane. Okay. Me and my wife, back in 2017, I've been sitting here going through a lot of issues. And back in 2017, me and my wife had went to an IEP meeting for my youngest son. Okay, due to the fact that we had prior issues at a previous IEP meeting, there was a Sioux City police officer, also, a truancy officer, however you want to call it, who had been at this IEP meeting in question. Well, we had just finished up going to my two older boys, stuff in their school, and I had made, the trek to go to the IEP / other meeting for, seeing how he was doing and stuff like that. Well, on the way to the meeting, we were greeted by the Sioux City Police Department's truancy officer at Unity Elementary, which is in the East District, of Sioux City. Well, we were met by the officer and another person that was going to the meeting. I was all fine and good with that. And then the officer had stated the fact that my cane, my means of conveyance, was a problem. During the time from the time that we had made it across the lunchroom, cafeteria, however you want to put it, the open foyer of the school, by the time we had crossed that, the officer had slowly started getting aggressive by, his mannerisms of the way he placed his body movements, by the way that he had, kept on putting his hand on his gun. And, during this time I had noticed the fact that he had a clip in the gun and everything. And, it started making me a little, worried, because he had kept on placing his hand on his firearm. Well, we had gotten down to the meeting, and, with the officer's mannerisms and everything and the way he was acting, it made me kind of worried for my own safety. And with the way everything was going down, I had turned around and I had made the statement 4 or 5 times, because of the officer's mannerisms, that I felt that he was there to shoot me in my head, because of, the fact of him constantly putting his hand on his gun, The fact that his gun was loaded inside a school and everything. Okay? You know, I have no problem, with local PD. I try to be, as good as I can be. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I try not to make waves with anybody. If anybody wants, me to try to help them out, I'll help them to the best of my abilities, or I'll find somebody that can help them due to my limited, mobility. Okay? And, during that time, I had gotten so, worried and upset about the whole fact that this cop had a loaded firearm and he kept on placing his hand on his gun. I decided to say, you know what? I call a meeting. I do not feel comfortable. I am leaving. The officer then decided to turn around and follow me from the meeting, sitting here badgering me the whole way to go back to the meeting. Meanwhile, still persisting on the mannerisms of keeping his hand bouncing back and forth to his gun. Okay. Well, it had gotten to the point that he had sit there and, kept on persisting the fact that my cane, my means of convenience, due to the fact that I have a hard time walking, because I am a handicapped man. I have a problem with walking. I am not handicapped as in the fact that I don't try to do anything. It's the fact that I have a hard time doing things. I am handy-capable. I try my best to be that way. So, hence the reason why I use my cane to help me walk. Well, the officer had pressed the issue that I had went back to the meeting, kept on placing his hand on his gun and everything else. It got to the point where he ended up getting, up in my face about this. And he was acting like, oh, I know your son. This is the best for your son. The only problem is your cane. And I'd sit there, me being, the fact that I have a hard time walking without my cane. I handed the officer my cane. I said, well, if my cane's the issue, if it'll stop you from touching your gun, I will go back to the meeting. Here's my cane. So I gave the officer my cane. Then the officer tried to persist the fact of me doing anything with my cane. And the only way that he had given back my cane is the fact that by the time that I had walked almost a full city block without my cane, holding on to a wall, being embarrassed the fact that I had to hold on to the wall to walk down this whole way that is pretty much a whole city block. Okay, I'm sorry, but anybody would be a little embarrassed. He had given my wife back my cane, and my cane ended up having to remain outside of my reach so the officer would feel comfortable about the whole meeting. Well, I had basically been forced by this police officer to do this meeting. And the reason why I'm making this video is to turn around and see if you think that this said officer was in the right. Okay? The officer's name is what? Matt Hicks. Okay, Matt Hicks basically bullied me into the fact of going to this meeting even though I did not feel comfortable. I'm sorry, but I feel that I was bullied. It was not right. and that it should not have been done. I had filed a state complaint with the Sioux City School Board. I had basically stated that either I had wanted a, formal apology or some kind of gesture to basically show the apologetic side of the school, as well as the said officer Matt Hicks, sorry. And, here I am, it's almost a year and a half later, still waiting. Let's just put it this way. I worry about my safety. I worry about my children's safety. That is the reason why I had turned around and relocated my home. I had also relocated where my children go to school. All due to the said officer Matt Hicks and the actions of both the Sioux City School, which had turned around and felt that it was warranted to bring an officer for a passionate father trying to do what's best for his child. I don't know, world. Maybe I'm wrong. But all I got to say is, in my mind, Matt Hicks and the school were in the wrong. And if you're a parent, or even inspired to be a parent, if this doesn't worry you, I'm going to say this, it worries me. Because it makes me worry about where our children go to school. The things that are happening in our schools without our knowledge, and what has been done to me and my son. This is America. This is the land of the free. This is not the way a law-abiding citizen should be treated, that is passionate about his child and just wants his child, who is also disabled, to have the best education and have the best life that he can. My son has LGS, he has autism, and he also has Lennox-Gastaut. So yeah, he has problems. We all have problems. But certain problems can't be ignored. Thank you.